So, welcome to my video, and my name's Carl, and I've recently started riding motorcycles. I passed my test in November, and I've been riding a bike solely ever since that point. So today we're going to go on to our first road trip. So I'm currently up in Scotland, in Aberdeen, with work. So yeah, overall I'm at the starting point really of just nipping up to Inverness and starting the NC500. I've got 4 days in which I can do it in, but hopefully we'll get it done a little bit quicker with seeing some places. We're not going to go nutty with all the visits to everywhere, but we'll have a look around and sort of stop when we want to stop. We're also going to be wild camping, so let me introduce the bike that's going to be taking me there. So this is my 2016 Honda NC750s. Personally, I think it's an ideal camping bike, to be honest. The amount of storage that's on it, and its fuel economy and range. It's got a tiny little tank here behind the little seat under here, of only 14 litres, but if you don't hammer the bike, it'll quite happily get you about 180 to 200 miles. If you're hammering the bike, you probably get about 160, 170 miles. So yeah, one of the reasons why it's very good as a sort of camping bike is when you open this up, you've got a cavernous area. What's that? I don't know. Got a cavernous area of storage on top of the already large storage of the panniers. So this side's got my tent, this side's got all my sleeping stuff, so I think that one's got my camping bag in, not my camping bag, my mattress, air mattress thing, and this side's got the sleeping bag and the cooker and stuff in there. And then up here we've got my little laptop for entertainment for night time, just because it's getting dark and don't always want to go sleep straight away. So I've got a little laptop up there, or a little Chromebook, clothes, coffees. Oh yeah, and the camping stoves in there, which I've already said. So on here we have got a little, what do you call it, CarPlay device, which I picked up from Amazon. A very cheap one, it's only 50 quid. But to be fair, I've used it to go to Cornwall and come back. It's had a couple of little connection issues coming back halfway through a trip, but overall it's done exactly what it says on the tin. The only niggle I have with it at the moment is the audio side can be hit and miss, so I have to set up an automation on my iPhone to go to my Cardo every time this connects. Otherwise I have to go through other things and mess around. But yeah, I thought I'd introduce myself and tell you a little bit about what we're doing. So today the plan is to get to the Old Wick Castle, or Wick Old Castle, or whatever it was called, which is around about, if you're doing a straight shot, it's probably about 2.5 to 3 hours away. But we're not going to do a straight shot. We're going to go and see some sites that look interesting. Decide on the way if it's something I want to have a look at, but monuments and old buildings are usually a good sort of spot, and very interesting, usually have information all over the show. So we'll probably give that a go and see how we get on today. So it's probably going to be a sporadic sort of record. I've only got the one camera, other than my iPhone obviously, so it will be mounted up the front here. I can put it on its little pole, which it's currently on now. The advantage to this one is it's an Insta360 One RS, so it has the twin lens package, so I can go around and change angles, which is nice. I can also chuck the flat lens on if I want to go and record in sort of tourist sites. But as I'm from Cornwall and I'm in Aberdeen, I thought it would be very silly not to do the NC500 just to give it a crack. And the only thing that's worrying, obviously being a novice rider, is if it rains, it's not going to be as fun. And as it's Scotland, chances of rain are quite high. Although, to be fair, the last week or two, weather has been absolutely stunning here, with the odd day that's overcast or the odd day that's had a little bit of rain. So I'm hopeful that we're in for decent weather, but yeah, one more tell. So we will see you on road next time I start. I don't know whether I'll record leaving Aberdeen, I'm not 100% sure in that regards, or whether I'll just leave it up to the sort of main sites, anything sort of epic road wise, and then go from there. Anyway, thank you for watching the intro. A long one, I know, but yes, we will endeavour to keep you all entertained, as they say. I'll catch you out there.
Right, so we're just about getting ready to leave where we are on it. We have got to get fuel and put that kind of stuff. But we are all set. And hopefully this gate opens for us. And hopefully you can hear me. If you can't hear me, that's not going to be so much fun. And we'll have to see how this, what's his name, the microphone through the headphones works. So what I'm using is a pair of not cheap headphones. So they're not AirPods or anything like that, but they are using the AirPod setting. Just waiting for this gate to open. They are using the AirPod setting on the Insta360. It doesn't register the Maria. Oh, there we go. So yeah, it's I think they're Anchor Sound something. Not sure. I was supposed to stop them, but yeah, hopefully it sounds alright. If not, then we've got a little bit of work to do. So yeah, using the headphones as a waterphone, so you might even hear music. So I might turn it down. Maybe pause it actually. So if I pause it, then, so yeah, we're just about to leave where we're currently staying and head up to Wick. Stopping a few times on the way, as I said before, and see how we get on. So this is a first time wild camping, which is going to be fun. It's the first time camping with a motorcycle, and it's the first time travelling past Aberdeen. Hopefully, all goes well and we don't see any rain. Although it's not looking spectacular at the moment, which is always fun. But that is to be expected. It's Scotland, actually. So yeah, hopefully the audio is decent. There's no real stuttering because we did try some cheaper headphones and they stuttered like hell. So we'll see how these anchors get on. So far in testing, they've been all right, but I don't know if that's good testing. So that's where we're staying, just up there, the point. And then I've got another problem. The shoulder pads on this jacket, every time I move turn my audio to skip a track or press play. So, yeah, this little shoulder bulges just happen to sit right where my play button is or skip button, which is super fun. Anyway, that's enough of me rattling on, and hopefully we're going to have a lovely day.
find ourselves going through Scotland. We've come across Clooty Well. So on our way up from Aberdeen into Inverness, we've come across this place. So it looks like people have put clothes and stuff all over the shop. Interesting. So far it's not been too bad of a ride, so we're doing okay time-wise, I believe. And yeah, soon we'll hit, I believe we'll hit the NC750s soon. We're not quite on it yet, so that's our next bit. Anyway, just having a quick wander, and then we'll move on to our next section. Here we're at Channery Point, which is in the Black Isle in Scotland. Channery Point is interesting for a couple of reasons. It's one of the best places to see dolphins in the wild in Scotland, and maybe anywhere really. But it's also got the Barahan Seer, which was the Scottish prophet, who actually met his demise here by, I think, being burned alive in a tar stake or something, in a barrel of tar on a stake, due to the fact that he predicted something that somebody didn't want to hear. So don't predict things. But unfortunately we didn't see dolphins, and we didn't stay too long, but you'll see a couple of images of the beach and the lighthouse that's there, and the car park and stuff like that in the next couple of seconds. So yeah, it's a lovely place, lovely views, and we'll then continue our way through the Black Isle onto the NC500. All right, so see you in the next section. So you say you always forget something on the road trip. I did. I forgot the long bloody USB cable, so I had to charge my camera. I just come across the A382, the A832, and it's looking like it was a lovely little road. So I thought I'd give you a nice little ride down it, because it's right on the coast. So literally we've got the coastline next to it. So anyway, hope you enjoy it.